Okay, here we are on the 3rd of September, and we're updating the roster of the Dallas Cowboys and starting our introduction to the 2012 football season. Let's start with the defense. 25 players made the cut for the 53-man roster. I wasn't surprised at any of the starters. We have Hatcher starting at one defensive end, and Rattiff in the middle on the defensive nose tackle. And I am a little surprised, I admit, with Coleman starting, and with Lisa Moore backing him up and also backing up at the nose tackle. And I'm a little surprised that Spears made the team. I thought that Geathers and perhaps Bass would make the team, but the decision makers chose otherwise. And we have Brent as a backup nose tackle. I wasn't surprised. We have Carr at one cornerback. We have the rookie Morris Claiborne on the other cornerback. I'm not surprised that Mario Butler made the team. I'm not surprised that Scandrick and Jenkins, even though we'll find out if Jenkins eventually supplants Scandrick as the slot defensive back on the nickel. With Spencer, I'm not surprised that he starts, and obviously Ware is going to start. Butler is here. Wilbur is here. Albrecht made the team. I was a little surprised, but over time not. And we kept 3 interior linemen. I was disappointed a bit that Ori Lemon didn't make the team on the 53. And with that, we rounded off with Lee and Carter starting. I'm not surprised. The safeties, however, Church, I was actually pleasantly surprised a bit with Church starting at one safety, Scandrick, the free safety. We're carrying 3 other safeties. In this case, we have Manny Silva from the University of Hawaii, Yahoo, and we have the rookie Johnson, who really didn't have that great of a off season and a preseason. He's been hurt a lot, but they must see a lot in him, or they want a lot of him, so they're giving him a chance. And at the end, we have McCray. Okay, so that takes care of the defense. The defense is not that big of a surprise, except again that Coleman and Spears made the team. On the special teams, as of the 3rd today, there's no surprise with Bailey being the kicker. There's no surprise necessarily of Jones, even though I had hoped that McBride would have been signed. But the decision makers like Jones. So far, he hasn't disappointed. And Lattiser is the long snapper. I know that there was some conversation about going young with the snapper who was eventually let go. But there's no big surprise here with the 3 guys who are going to head up the special teams units. Now, let's go to the offense. I am a little surprised at some of the things here. This starting offensive line is not that big of a surprise when you really start of it. Costa survived as a center. Livings at one guard. Barano as another guard. And we have Free. And we also have Smith. The backups on the offensive line. Currently, it looks like Arkin. I don't know how long that'll last as the backup center. Dockery made the team. I don't know how long that'll last. And then we have the new guy, Cook, who came in via trade, and Purnell. I'm a little disappointed that there's no backup tackle. There's only 3 tackles on the active roster. I'm a little worried about that. The receivers who are starting, obviously, that's not a surprise. With Harris, I'm hoping that Harris will spend a lot more time. I just think he's much more explosive than Ogletree, who I didn't think would make the team, but apparently his experience won out as another wide receiver. Holmes sort of faded, but he made the team. And Beasley perhaps will be the big contributor, especially in situations where we're looking at 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. We need somebody to get into a space to get us 5 or 6 yards. He seems to be pretty good at that. I'm a little surprised that we're carrying 2 quarterbacks right now. Romo, obviously the starter. Orton. McGee was let go the other day so that we could have an extra tight end. and we don't know how that will work out long term, but it makes perfect sense currently with Witten as a starter, and then the 3 backups. Phillips, who I thought had an excellent camp. Hannah, who surprised me, who thought he had an excellent camp. And now the new guy, Coach Hart. Vickers is a running back, fullback. I'm surprised we don't have much of a backup, but with the tight end, who's more of a blocker, maybe that makes sense. And then we also have the starting tailback, Murray, and also Jones and Tanner. I was disappointed a little that Dunbar didn't make the team, but we'll talk about that a little later again. So again, we have 25 guys on offense, 25 guys on defense, 3 guys on the special teams for the 53. Now let's look at the practice squad. The practice squad was a surprise for me to some extent. But before we go to the practice squad, IR. McSurdy on IR, Kemp on IR, Loper, I think he's on IR, I'm not sure. Pup, we have Kowalski. When Kowalski comes back in week 10, there's going to be some change on the offensive line. We don't know how that's going to work. I'm still hoping that we have a backup tackle in addition to Parnell. Okay, now let's go to the practice squad. The 8 guys who make it. Callaway, a defensive tackle, makes sense. They like him. They want to give him some more time to season out. Bass, defensive end. They like him. He made it over Geathers. We'll have to see if another year works out for him. Lemon, inside linebacker. That's an interesting call. Who will he beat out next year if he makes a team? Leary. Let's hope that next year Leary will be able to make the team as either the swing guard or the guard that suits up on game day. Olawale is a fullback, tailback. I like that idea. Let's see what happens with him as he matures. I wouldn't be surprised if Dunbar makes the 53 at some point in the season. Benford, we'll see what happens with him. Cole is a disappointment because he was hurt, but I'm glad that he made the practice squad, and let's see who he can beat out perhaps in the year 2013 as he has a full season. And anyway, that's what we look like as a team with the 53 and the 8 guys on the practice squad. And as we go into Wednesday's initial game of the 2013 season with the New York Giants, we'll have to see how it works out. Clearly, the Giants have to be favored in this game, but with the Cowboys, if they're able to play very good defense, run the ball, not make turnovers or other errors and a lot of penalties, I think they may be able to pull it out. In any case, I'll talk to you again after game 1. It'll definitely be before game 2. So long. This is Charles Morgan. Bye now.